Hey, what's up guys? It's your pal Ben here from Tweak Cycles out of Hagerstown, Maryland. And yes, I know it has been a little bit, a minute since I've made my last video. We've been kind of busy here at the store, so trying to stay on the showroom, stay as active as possible. But behind me, I got a brand new ATV that I'd like to show you guys. We got a 2025 Honda Rubicon 700, which formerly known as the Rincon. I don't think we've ever actually ordered one in. I've been a salesperson here at Tweak Cycles since 2018. Been here since 2013, but since 2018, I can honestly tell you I've never actually seen a Rincon or Rubicon 700 in person. So we're gonna check this thing out, get to know it a little bit, and see what you guys think. So as you all know, Honda for many years has been producing the Rincon 680, and the Rubicon 700 essentially is what's taking place of that machine. I love that Honda is producing a big bore ATV, and as you guys know, falling in line with the rest of the Honda work ATVs, this thing is meant to be put to work, to tow, to haul, and just do that heavy duty work that you need either around the property or farm or ranch or whatever it may be. This thing is meant to do whatever you want it to. Now, although Honda's big focus with their ATVs is work and dependability and reliability and basically just what makes sense, you know, for a work machine, I know a lot of folks that actually use their Rincons as their sole recreation machine. The only kicker is, I'll warn you guys, this does not have quite the horsepower as a Brute Force 750 or Sportsman 850, things of that nature. This thing is coming in right around 40 horsepower, 38.1 to be exact. So like I say, not a big focus on the play aspect, although like I say, I know folks that use the Rincons for their recreation ATV. Their big focus with this was, like I say, heavy duty work, putting this sucker to work. Low end torque was the big focal point here. As with all my videos, I'm going to start with just a couple of the specs, and then we'll pull the machine apart and get to know it a little bit. So first things first, of course, you have the Rubicon 700 in front of you. This is a 675cc liquid cooled fuel injected motor, which you can see kind of tucked right inside there, kind of. So like I say, 675, this engine is putting out right around 38.1 horsepower. So what makes this thing unique? We have a automotive style transmission with the Trax-Lock 4-wheel drive, hydraulic torque converter from Honda. You got the electronic shift transmission, and what that means is basically you have a 3-speed automatic transmission, automotive-like transmission, and you'll see right up here, rather than having your if you're familiar with, like, you know, your electric shift Hondas, like the Ranchers or the Foremans, the Rubicons, things like that, instead of putting this in drive with your electronic shift buttons, you actually put it in drive right up on here. So you have drive, neutral, and reverse, which is controlled right there. This is going to control first, second, third, basically, and you still have the ability, if you want to change it from electronic shift programming or automatic, you can ask it to do that or have it do that. Of course, this thing has independent suspension the whole way around, so I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up of that here. So work our way around, let you all take a good peek at it here. So independent suspension the whole way around. Nice big beefy setup. And I like that they, I gotta say, it's a pretty attractive machine. At first, I'll tell you, I wasn't a huge fan of this LED light. It's kind of growing on me a little bit. It did at first, to me, look like an afterthought. You know, it looked like they did a great job with their headlights up here, which I'd like to see them maybe upgrade to LED. It looks like this one up here, especially if you look at the rest of the Rubicon family, the 520s and the Foremans and the Ranchers, and not the Ranchers, but anything else that has a pod light up front does not match what this looks like. So I'm not sure what their thought was there. But touching back on the looks department, I like that they added an attractive set of black rims to this thing too. Let me go over here to where the sun's looking at us. So nice, good looking set of black wheels. I like that versus the basic ugly steel wheels that they normally give their base model machines. So I think they did a good job there. 26-inch Maxxis tires this thing comes with from the factory. So 26-inch Maxxis tires. I think it's a good set of tires to come for a work machine. Nothing overly grabby that's going to tear the yard up, but something that's going to grab when you want it to and when you need it to. And just to get another quick zoom in on your tires, by the way, you have a 26 by 8 by 12 on the front. You got a 26 by 10 by 12 on the rear for those of you that are curious. To kind of touch on some of the dimensions for those of you that are concerned about maybe loading this puppy into a trailer or into the back of a truck. This is 47.5 inches wide. This machine does offer you 9.5 inches worth of ground clearance, so a good bit of ground clearance there. Not too bad for an ATV like this. This is weighing in at 701 pounds wet. So that is with all chemicals, oil, fluids, fuel, coolant, things like that. 701 pounds. You got a 4.4 gallon fuel tank, easily accessible right there. This has an 848 pound towing capacity. Now they have an accessory tow hitch that you can get for the back of this machine. 848 pounds worth of towing capability out of this thing. You got a 100-pound rack capacity up front. Let me go up front here. Of course, they give you these capacities. I know folks usually load these puppies down pretty heavily anyway, but they say, or they estimate it's a 100-pound capacity for the front and a 187-pound capacity for the rear rack there as well. And this comes with Honda's 1-year factory warranty as well, which you can extend if you wish to do so. So we're going to start kind of pulling this thing apart. One thing that I really like, Honda has always given these machines nice big sturdy front brush guards, which I like. So you got good front end protection up there around your headlights and on the front of the machine, which wraps the whole way up, integrates up into your front rack. Nice bit of surface area there. If you want to tie some stuff down. These little square holes are for Honda's quick release accessory stuff that you can get for these quick release bags, gun mounts, boots, things like that. That's why they're cut out the way they are. But I like that this rack, it's metal, gives you some good surface area to tie some stuff down if you wish to do so. You got a storage box right up front here as well, so you can throw maybe I don't know, a little bit of rope or chain or gloves or whatever have you in there if you want. So working our way around here, we got another little storage box right here. So just pop that sucker open and you can see got some storage in there. All right. So of course we don't have any shift levers or anything down here on the left-hand side because it's all controlled right up here on the handlebar, or right here. So working our way around, like I say, got the rear rack right there, 187-pound rack capacity. Now, one other little thing, if I had to be super picky, I would like to see them, I know it's hard because of how they have the exhaust in these things. You know, if you look at basically any other Honda, you have storage right here. That is not the case with this particular machine, so there's no storage in the rear. Your storage is pretty much all right up front here. So you get that storage box right there that I just showed you and the one up front. So just keep that in mind. So working our way around. Of course, you do have a dedicated rear brake right there. You get a front brake up here and another rear brake on your left-hand side. To sit on this machine, very comfortable. Of course, you have a emergency brake or a parking brake up there because you can park this thing in drive, neutral, or reverse, but it can still roll away if you're on that steep of a grade without the parking brake. So you get the little parking brake right up there. I'll turn the key on and show you guys what you have on your left-hand side. Obviously, emergency cutoff switch is right there. Start button, your headlights, there's on, off, low beam, high beam. And then of course, I'll go over your transmission here. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this puppy up. And by the way, while I'm on my right-hand side, you get your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, throttle, of course, front brake, your auto or electronic shift programming. So let's go ahead and start this thing up. And what you can see up on your display, just the you know, the necessities. So gear indicator, tachometer, coolant readout, coolant temperature readout, that is, fuel gauge, your speedometer, and current time. It's going to let us know if we're in neutral or reverse. So there's reverse, and then neutral, and then drive. And you'll see this actually switches to drive. If I put it over to electronic shift, it goes to a number. And if I go back to automatic, it goes back to D for drive. So now if I want to shift it with my buttons, then you have 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, essentially is the way that works. All right, so here's where I'm at on the Rubicon 700. I like it. I think they could do a little bit better with the headlight. maybe improve a little bit on the horsepower, although not necessary for this type of machine, because what we really want to focus on is the torque. So you have about a 900 pound towing capacity, whereas most 520, 500cc machines have about a 1300 pound towing capacity. This does actually have a good bit of juice. So I think they did a good job with the automotive style transmission in this thing. I think it actually does really, really well for that 700. Technically, like I say, it's a 675, but really we call it a 700. I think they did a great job with the transmission. It shifts very, very smooth. The other improvement I'd like to see is power steering, although not necessary. Something to keep in mind if you do have maybe some shoulder problems or things like that, or wrist problems, you might want to look into a Rubicon 520 or something like that that actually has power steering. So really my two big gripes: I'd like to see power steering on this machine. I'd also like to see them, and this is just purely an aesthetic, I'm not saying it's not working, but I'd like to see them upgrade the appeal of this headlight, because like I say, if you look at the 520s, they have the body style matching. They have the red cover over the headlight on the front. I do like that they gave us an LED light for your pod, which is pretty neat. You can kind of point and aim, if you're in some tall grass or hunting or anything like that, you can use your pod light to kind of point and aim where you're going. The transmission is very, very smooth. Like I say, I originally used to kind of make fun of the Rincon. I was not a fan of it. Now I can say I'm actually a fan. I do like this machine. It's very smooth, peppy, torquey when you need it to be and when you want it to be. But where I think this falls in line, if you're looking for a bigger bore Honda, if you're a bigger guy, bigger operator, and you want something that fits you better, it is a physically larger machine compared to a Rubicon or a Foreman 520. So this is a physically larger machine. Sitting on it, I can tell I have more space as opposed to the 520s and things like that. So if you're looking for something with a little bit more space and comfort, this does also have a bigger seat as well. So something to keep in mind. I like the display, legible display. It's easy to read. Overall operation, very smooth. Brakes are nice and responsive when you want them to be. Yeah, I mean, Honda, they did a great job. It's not quite an excellent job, I'll be honest with you. Like I say, I'm really picky for something that's, this thing sells for $99.99 and you don't get power steering. That's one thing that I am kind of upset about. Although, like I say, if you're a big, strong fella, not absolutely necessary. Like I say, I know some folks that are actually using these for their dedicated recreation riding machines, so not even using it for work. So there's guys trail riding with these. So, but I think they did a great job. Not quite an excellent job. I'd say it's maybe a 4.5 out of 5 if I really had to rate it. But good machine. Like I say, I like that Honda has always given you a front brush guard, good sturdy racks, front and rear. They did a good job there. So, and of course you have Honda's reliability and dependability. You can't beat that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and we'll catch y'all later. Thank you.